Yeah,
10
Storm's
seconds
okay.
remaining.
I know you were talking about the big points against the Void Spirit. It's not just the Shatter
5
Demon, right? You've
seconds
even just got
remaining.
the enchant to be able to remove that resonant pulse damage absorption, so that's great. But I think the big thing is they just wanted something that was able to get in onto the back lines and kill this Shadow Demon, or kill the, but not even the Enchantress, kill the Shadow Demon. That is the role, and it's either going to be a Storm Spirit who you can lock him down for a little bit. Maybe you go into an Orchid, or you play a tiny bit more for the mid to late game, and you just wait for that Aghanim
Radiant
Scepter
team
on the
ban.
Void Spirit.
Templar
So
Assassin.
I like the TA in response to this. The Void Spirit does not a lot of small instances of damage. It's a lot of big indications, and
Dire
you can get
team
bullied out
ban.
because your armor isn't the highest. We saw when he was very much in the meta, the Magnus was one of the big counters to the Void Spirit just because of how much you're able to bully out of the lane, and I feel like the TA does just as good a job. Gives you something that can take all of those Shadow Demon stacks as well, which is a big plus.
Yeah,
10
they were
seconds remaining.
requiring some ancient hero and also some way to be able to take these objectives. And now you've already got that with the potential alacrity or in your dream hero. There's a lot of capability to put that in different lanes here. But Polaris, I've got the 23rd pick once again. We're looking for the carries with this last
10
phase
seconds
of the
remaining.
draft. What are we looking for? Is there anything they really need to tick
5
off?
seconds remaining.
I want to see a little bit more lockdown on Nigma Galaxy's lineup. Sure, you've got the Mars Shadow Demon, but it kind of requires the Shadow Demon to go in first. And I struggle to see a situation where a Shadow Demon wants to run up into the likes of a Void
Dire
Spirit or a
team
Mirana,
ban.
right? So they're looking to get rid of the Puck and the Death Prophet. I like the Puck more specifically, just because, of course, it gives you that instant initiation. If you're able to lock in the Mirana and the Void Spirit in the Dream Coil, they can't just immediately get away, and you can still flex this TA to the safe lane, of course, even though,
10
in my
seconds
opinion, it's a good
remaining.
mid matchup. So, yeah, I
Radiant
just think
team
I
ban.
want to see some more stuns come out, and they could still do end up banning out the Razor, even though they've got the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like Nigma Galaxy are going to be pretty reliant at the moment on how Mizu's able to start these fights. If he has a good lane, then going for that early blink, and with the arena
10
cooldown
seconds
especially, is going to be a
remaining.
bit vulnerable. So they don't have this tempo controlling position
5
2 unless they
seconds
flex the
remaining.
TA and go for the 24th pick for alacrity. So this is something that Polaris can work in their favor pretty heavily, and then go for some scaling or win condition that's able to just farm up freely across the map.
Dire team
They
pick.
couldn't Bloodseeker on Nigma, could they?
Phantom Lancer.
Even now, it's not horrible. Like you can very easily just build into the Maelstrom, eventually Gleipnir or Mjolnir, whichever avenue you want to go down. Once you build a shard, it's going to be good against the Tide Hunter, and Rupture against Void Spirit and Mirana is fantastic.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Nice little setup for the laning stage as well with the Ench, right?
you can
5
definitely go
seconds
Bloodseeker and just
remaining.
look to end the game early. Be the amp for the TA. Blood Rage could always be nice, and just not look to counter Phantom Lancer in regards to just the carry to carry matchup as the game goes late. Just deal with him through the early stages and really look to enable the TA.
Mm.
Which,
What
I
are some of
mean,
the other options? I mean, the damage is it's slow right now on Polaris' side outside of the Void Spirit, right? It's just like death by 1,000 cuts, basically. You're eventually going to jump in with the Ravage. You might get that, multiple spell combination coming through from the Void Spirit. It's not a lot of physical damage, though, outside of the PL, so something like a Sven, maybe? But you don't really want to have both a TA and a Sven, who both want
yeah.
to be, obviously taking big stacks and all of that. I don't know. I still kind of feel the Bloodseeker, just something that's going to dominate the lane and something that's good against at least two of the cores in the mid to late stage.
Now select
Yeah,
your
it's fine.
heroes.
I mean, again, something that can naturally build into that Maelstrom, something that provides that blind against the Phantom Lancer, very effective. And even in the laning stage, you don't have to worry about being that melee hero into a Tide Hunter. You can just stay in ranged form and harass him out from afar. So, yep, totally fine with this troll pick.
I think it definitely ticks the box of the lane dominator that you were saying the Bloodseeker was going to kind of fulfill. Troll is one of the best positioned ones to do exceptionally well in the lane, and you've also pairing that up with the Enchantress too. So it's going to be a very difficult task for Mirana along with the Tide Hunter. And also just speaking more in that lane, the miss with the whirling axes is going to be really, really good to be able to mitigate a lot of the damage that will come through from the gush. So I like this pick from Nigma.SEA. I'm a bit worried about how the matchup fares, of course, as the game goes later on. There was not many heroes left that could go toe-to-toe versus the PL, and this is going to be where it comes into play of them looking to take first Roshan and then going to end the game from there. The only issue is they are on die, so it's definitely not going to enable this first Roche.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first Roche I feel like is relatively okay. It's the second Roche that's the bigger concern for mine, when you're more likely to have lost a few of your towers. But Polaris, they don't have the greatest tower taking heroes either, right? The Phantom Lancer is. You don't want to be spending all of your time just hitting away at a tower slowly with a bunch of illusions, right? You want to be off farming. You want to be off continuing to build your net worth lead, get the experience, because towers, they don't give much experience at all. So we'll see how they're looking to address that. I still think Nigma.SEA have the slightly better draft here. And I feel like as long as Jokam's able to position himself that he's not getting immediately found out by Lelouch, he's going to have a good time.
So how are you feeling about this game? Because I was more confident on Nigma.SEA's draft in game 1, but game 2, I feel like this is pretty even.
It's pretty even, but I really like the TA into the Void Spirit. I really like the Enchantress Troll into the Tide Hunter, and I feel like it's just two more successful lanes is going to outweigh the other ones. Sure. So I'm going to stick with Nigma.SEA.
So you're really banking off these lanes being that huge factor here for Nigma.SEA to just set themselves up for a strong early game.
Yeah, that plus the ability to get stacks. Again, it's going to be the position for Shadow Demon, right? So he's going to have a good time in being able to build up some of these stacks for the TA. We saw that Alacrity is super capable of putting the team on his back and carrying with a lot of damage that he's able to output in the later stages. He was nearly double the rest of his team's damage in that game number 1. So certainly no stranger to the win condition style of heroes as we might
comes out, I'm Polaris. Yep. Before a kill has to be said. As they're going to run into In Your Dream. Arrow finds a connection, but Jokam is still hiding the wings. He's going to have ample time to protect In Your Dream, and it's just a battle of now who's able to posture aggressively and secure the bounties. Even Polison's looked to get evolved as well. We've got a 5-on-5 by Dice triangle as Force is falling lower and lower. That's going to be In Your Dream to secure the first blood. Will it cost him his life? Fairy Fire, stick charges too. He'll still end up dropping. A 2-for-1 to start. What a bloodbath we've got. Are we done yet? We're not.
Nope.
Mavis is gone. So I did say Nigma.SEA, just so you're aware.
Roll the clip, roll it back. I mean, I feel like that could have been, I don't know, like slightly better maybe for Polaris, but you were forced to go into this Aether Remnant on the Void Spirit instead of, like, you had 4 heroes clumped up. The Enchantress wasn't there just yet. So Resonant Pulse would have given a lot of value to just allow Lelouch to perhaps be, tank up a couple of right clicks rather than allow them to just switch over onto Force. But even though he used, I believe, 2 Fairy Fires on the Troll Warlord, he's totally happy with that, securing the first blood for himself.
The big reason why I was liking Polaris' draft is I think through the early game, they're going to have a much easier time of finding kills across the map with the Void Spirit Mirana, Bane Mirana together as well. And I think that's the big weakness that Nigma.SEA have. You're going to be playing off the back of the level 6 from Mizu and really looking to convert kills from the arena.
Nah, Disruption into Enchantress, Centaur Stomp, easy clap.
Ooh, all right. Oh, we'll see how this Roman duo can fare. I do also feel like because I'm in agreement as well that I think the lanes from Nigma.SEA are going to be very favorable. And if Alacrity can have a solid start and be able to freely farm his jungle, I feel like he's going to go pretty untouched. But Lelouch also has a pretty free game. Apart from this being a bad lane, I think, yes, you're against a Shadow Demon, but as the game goes on, like, how do you kill him? You don't have stuns.
You don't have stuns. It might just be, try and bait out a lot of his abilities, then use the Enchant or the Demonic Purge onto him so that he can't have that physical damage absorption and just let Alacrity do his thing. Of course, later on as well, one of the... talk to a few of the pros and they basically say, look, whenever you're going up against one of these spirit heroes, you love to be playing the Troll Warlord. As long as you can get on top of him, most likely you're going to get that initial route, and then you can just look to lock him down because they are relatively squishy compared to a lot of these other heroes in the game. And real trades going on between Xavius and Paulson down here up here on the top side of the map. I'm going to back off though.
Easy shot.
Even that bottom, Yokam is he gonna get both the sentries? Ooh, no, doesn't look like the other one's clipping. Would have been mega value, as I haven't really shown too much love to this bottom lane, but Mizu's having a very good time at the moment. Definitely, we'll say Mars is one of the better threes, I think, versus PL. With how you can scale as the hero, you can always play against Gorge Rebuke, which is great versus the illusions, and even the Ag Shard you can utilize as well. We've got another kill with Doob. Xavius able to find the second for Polaris. A nice little cheeky solo.
It was a little bit ahead on experience there. Eventually, at the end, you did get that level 2 on the Enchantress, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough to be able to continue surviving. So, I don't know. I still feel like this is a game where Paulison can just stick himself there on the front lines and go into the Nature's Attendants, right? Like, who's going to kill him outside of maybe the Void Spirit?
Yeah, they are going to have big issues with how they're able to blow him up. I mean, we've seen what an Enchantress can do. You can get so much farm when you put more levels into the enchant and just those value items just to posture aggressively, which is going to be nice to provide vision and just gain that information for Mizu to jump.
Yeah, let's see how good Paulison's micro is as well, as it's a little bit of a battle to see, is the Mirana going to be able to hit that arrow onto the Ench creep or not? This time around, he was on point and made sure that he missed.
Very early net worth lead, though, to start this game, as we're really starting to see mid fall further and further out of favor here for Lelouch. Currently 14-2 compared to the 25-8. So Alacrity free farming at the moment, and they're already looking to put more emphasis here as both the supports trying to rotate over to secure the TA.
Yeah, secure the TA, make sure the Void Spirit isn't able to get those runes. And
Lelouch needs
denying
help.
it away.
He's actually going to go towards the dire side of the map. The TP out missed. Oh, what was that damage?
Yeah, that did a lot more damage than I was expecting, to be honest.
Just blows him up that last right click. I mean,
176 damage it did at the very end there. So nicely done by Alacrity. They were also able to secure the bottom rune. You're able to get a stack start to be built up for the top side. Although they did place the sentry ward down eventually. Surprisingly enough, Mavis is just going to get that free D ward off though, so not going to be able to continue building up those stacks. Yeah, again, this is just another great game for Alacrity to be able to just show his stuff, right? Like, who's going to stop him except if PL just somehow is able to snowball?
It's a rough life when you've got to smoke as a core early on to get back to the lane. You know things have gone pretty poorly at that stage. This is the thing. Lelouch lane's not good, but let's see how he's going to be able to catch back up. They definitely have. And once he has level 6s, you've got lanes to potentially gank and find some form of catch up. As bottom is going to be off the mark with a spear, and this is definitely their win condition. Natsumi on the Phantom Lancer, a hero that he's thrived on in the past, but it is a hero that's still very lackluster, it feels like.
It depends what lineup it's into. Like this one, they don't have a huge amount of AoE damage, especially if you're able to play a little bit more of that poking style. We could see the Aether Lens into the Aghanim Shard just to try and burn the Mars's mana through the use of the Diffusal Blade, as opposed to just wanting to go all in, straight Manta style, these sorts of concepts there.
Look at what they're getting out of the lane, though. Like, in your dreams, free farming top, you've already got Paulison starting to fall back and take some of the jungle, which is going to bring him to those items that we were discussing previously. And Yokem, again, continuing to make rotations to look to enable Alacrity, and also starting to make some stacks as well in the jungle. As Alacrity already level 7, so Lelouch is going to have to play off the back of the reposition for the Dissimulate, which is enough to get him out to safety. Paulison might find a solo kill on Xavius. He's still got a Fairy Fire in the arsenal.
Yeah, we had to be very careful there. He's only got the 1 point in the side blades, otherwise the Runner probably would have died previously. He was in position to get caught by the clip there when he was harassing out Lelouch continuously. It was a few good rotations here by Mavis. I'm seeing a lot of drawing on the minimap, specifically from Polaris, just saying, gotta take away this jungle, take away the jungle, take away the jungle. And, at least he's able to continuously build up those sentry wards. He's blocked up the ancient camp now, although it's already triple stacked. He also took the bounty rune. He also de-warded. So, I mean, there's little things going their way, but This is the big issue for mine. Like, Alacrity is just dominating this lane, and it's what we're expecting, right? Like, the Void Spirit has 3 armor, and going up against a TA single point in meld, -5, Blightstone, another -2. Like, how can you possibly contest into this?
And we're already seeing the issues really start to be highlighted in this second game. As Nigma.SEA, it's a 2,000 net worth lead, and all their lanes going swimmingly at the moment. And Troll, phase boots after the Falcon Blade. And what are we looking to see in your dream go for? Do you feel like it's going to be like a Maelstrom, just Battle Fury a bit too greedy when you've got a TA?
I feel like the Maelstrom's totally fine, just because you are going to want to need, like, let's say the Tidehunter's able to be a little bit more survivable, and same sort of thing with the Void Spirit, right? At least you're going to have some magic damage to be able to get through the Resonant Pulse Shield, to be able to get through the Kraken Shell, and, you know, it's still good against the Troll Warlord as well. You can eventually build into that Mjolnir as well, so that, you know, regardless of who Natsumi goes on, you're going to have some sort of ability to remove those illusions from the equation. And he does end up queuing up the Maelstrom. I always love that, you know, you're always kind of holding your breath a little bit, like, oh, I'm going to say something and he's going to do the opposite. I'm going to look like a fool.
No fool this time. You definitely look like a fool if Nigma.SEA lose, though. I'd hate for me to catch back up.
Oh, so I am one ahead. Okay, I see.
I don't remember saying that. What?
You've played yourself.
I miss you. It feels like this game is going to start to, you know, push the tempo a little bit once we see these first usages of the ultimates. Mizu's got his Arena. Force has got the Ravage ready to rock and roll. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually wants to go posture down bottom here with a Tide. He's, you know, got the TP. Does he have any extra heroes that can join him? In fact, maybe they're looking mid. Alacrity. Nice meld usage. Oh my.
Yeah, really good. And I have to wonder, like, a lot of heroes have been not visible on the map for a long time. So I wonder if they know... It's not like they've got the greatest heroes to be able to take this Ancient stack on the Radiant side. So if somehow someone on Nigma.SEA is able to scout this out, if they can take a successful team fight into Alacrity taking all of those Ancients, then this game is done.
It's going to be Radiant looking to make their first play down bottom. Bavis leading the charge. It's going to run straight to Mizu. Nice use of the setup, but they get rid of the Nightmare. Mizu's still in trouble as they're locking on top of him inside the arena. He's going to try and juke out the tree line, but Natsumi continuing to hunt as the Mars, his health is starting to get stacked back up thanks to Polison's heal, and Mizu, he's still okay. Now on the backline, forces come in handy. Ravage use, it'll give some extra space for Lelouch, who's still in trouble. Another root, but the Nightmare gives him some distance, and it's going to be Polaris to turn this team fight back in their favor. In your dream, still waiting for the level in the ultimate. Nonetheless, he'll go down even if he uses it. They're going to look to overwhelm Yokem under the tier 1 tower, and no one dies on Polaris.
That was just really good team play coming out there from Polaris. I thought maybe they might be able to turn that one around, but it was just the 1 point in the Nature's attendance, so just incredibly minor things, right? Like, they kind of sensed that smoke was coming, but they put Mizu onto the front lines instead of the Enchantress to soak up a lot of that damage. And, I mean, just have a look at Polison's build. He's going into a Midas. Like, they are banking on the late game a little bit here.
Invisibility.
Mid lane. Okay, keep this tower alive. Lelouch, they've got him rid of the refraction. Or try and target down Yokem next, but he's got to be cautious because the level 6 has just been picked up. Polo's going to also go do exactly what Radiant were looking to before. Drop a ward down, block the triangle, but Mavis is already postured with the sentry.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Look, it is a little bit of a gold swing, just if you have a look at the win probability graph for Polaris. But the downside of that is, of those 4 kills, guess how many Natsumi got? Big old goose egg. He had 0 kill involvement, well, not kill involvement, but kills claimed at the end of it. 2 of them were the Marana, 1 of them the Tidehunter, 1 of them the Void Spirit. So that's not really what you want if you're a PL that's looking to join in a lot of these engagements. And in that time, Alacrity was using the time to push the mid tower, sorry, the mid lane, and eventually is able to secure the mid tower after the fact.
That definitely does have to be a nice encouragement for Polaris in regards that they can shine in a lot of these team fights with their ultimates. As Natsumi, this will be Nice influx of gold if you can bring down Polaris. And there's still a tier 1 tower. And
Radiant's
now the
bottom
reinforcements are
tower
going to
is
start to
under
show up. So Mizu, just an easy kill on Mavis. Natsumi's still sticking around.
Doesn't have a TP.
Or maybe Mizu's going to be dived
coming
though.
on the courier.
Forcing
It's coming on the
Xavius.
courier.
Coming on over. Mizu's goddamn beefy, but it looks like if they can have 3 heroes directly on top of the Mars, they'll get a point blank arrow. Polyson's just going to have to stand there and watch as Mizu will slowly be brought down. Finally, Natsumi will find a kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Wait a minute.
Dire's
Who ended
going
up
on?
taking
tower
this
is
ancient
under
stack?
attack.
On Dire or Radiant? Radiant, I think it was
Radiant.
TA.
Top tower has
I
fallen.
think TA just moved over.
He went and sniped it.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I said it was game over if that happened. oh, he nearly side-bladed the courier on its way through with the illusion.
Lelouch? I don't... Can they blow him up? One more astral step?
Yep.
Is under attack.
Yes, sir, they can.
There's a reason I was confident in Nigma.SEA, particularly like as soon as this TA came out, I was like, oof, they have won that draft again. It just feels like Alacrity's TA is always
Yo,
something to be taken into
Xavius.
consideration.
What an arrow. Okay. You make some individual plays like that to find the early Spirit Vessel. See how this can come into play.
Gonna be nice and force. You know, he's the one
Radiant's
hero that's
middle
basically
tower is
having a
under
good
attack.
time here. Probably having a bit of a better time than I would have expected coming up against that Troll Warlord Enchantress lane. He's almost picked up a Blink Dagger for himself, and that is the thing that's going to enable this Mirana, right? Like the Void Spirit I said, for the laning stage, they needed something that was going to be able to set up for the arrow. The rotations, unfortunately, were never able to occur to that mid lane because of how some of the side lanes were going and because he was just getting completely bodied in the earlier stages. So, I mean, at least Ravage into Arrow is a nice little setup if they're able to land it. But looks like they're going to try and make a smoke happen before he gets to that
Once
stage.
again, the use of the meld. It's got some heroes behind him. They'll blow up the Babe, but now Polaris. Oh, as soon as they lose a hero, they're going to reevaluate how they take this fight.
That's me just continuing to, I was about to say farm on the bottom side of the map, but just wants to claim a few more of these camps and then look to get out, farm the top side because it is not safe down here anymore. There are very few heroes that can be on this bottom side of the map. I would say Xavius is probably
Dude,
number
in
one who
your
gets first hit
dream.
rooted.
There's multiple times this game that he's finding this first hit route.
Yeah,
Maybe he's blowing his luck early though.
that's the copium talking.
Come on. What are you talking about? There's no copium at all. Polaris, easy victory.
Yeah. I mean, in your dream as well, with the Troll Warlord coming up against the Tide Hunter, you wanted to build the Magic Stick anyway, and he's gone Magic Wand just because, of course, coming up against the PL, you always want the potential to be able to get off that Battle Trance, so he's going to need to wait until he's completely out of mana, because when you consider it, like, PL isn't going to be able to do a ton of damage when you're out of mana, right? Like, so it's just all about surviving for that little bit, and then at the very last second, again, a lot of their damage is slow-ish, so you're going to be able to pop that Magic Wand, turn it into the Battle Trance, and hopefully with that Maelstrom for Nigma.SEA's sake, be able to turn the team fight around.
Polaris are trying to set up a
Radiant's
Mizu,
middle
but
tower is under
Yurikam,
attack.
it always seems like he's in the right place. As finally, Xavius he does in fact get that kill on Polaris, and who survived on about 6 health before, but he sends him out in the tree line. They are doing... I was going to say that they're doing a good job to at least keep themselves in the game, but are they really? Because you're not stemming the net worth lead that's growing for the side of Nigma.SEA, and I feel like they don't care that PL is getting some farm, because you've got Alacrity with Deso, Dragonlance, Troll Warlord's been completely untouched, and it just feels like if they don't...
Dire's top
If you
tower is
waste
under
Ravage
attack.
from Force into the Nigma.SEA, you're just going to move into Roche.
Yep. And
Radiant
that's exactly where Force is
structures are
walking around. I mean, he had enough gold to be able to pick up that Blink Dagger if he wanted to, but he's kind of in two minds as to what to go for. I mean, the Halberd is a good item against this TA Troll Warlord dual core, but it's only going to work on one of them.
They're going to look to smoke on Radiant. Blink completed for Force. They saw Mizu kind of TP up top.
Level lead on Alacrity relative to Lelouch.
Jesus.
Shadows take us.
Here we go. This is the big time. If they're able to catch out this Troll Warlord, it's going to be a big win for them. But just have a look at Jokam's positioning. It's pretty good, although he's moving a bit closer towards Alacrity now. But, I mean, look at those Spidey senses in your dream, just getting completely out of there. It just feels like they've got that extra sense, right?
Yeah, it seems like he was just aware of Polaris making the move, and now it's going to be pretty obvious. Natsumi hasn't hit a tower just yet, so with him beating on top of the tier 1 mid, Nigma have the recognition that the rest of the forces are sitting behind. Well, it's going to look to lead the charge.
Don't have the Moonlight Shadow to play around with, though. Just as PL's rotating back to the jungle. I do see that they have an Observer Ward up, but I think it might have just not clipped it. They were smoking to the south, to the bottom left of that trap there. So I feel like they might have just been out of vision.
And here we go. They're going to walk in a Roche. They wouldn't even have to worry about any of the cooldowns. I feel like they're strong enough to take the fight head on full. They'll try and blow up Paulison, but great position from Yokam, and Lelouch, all his damage completely wasted now. No astral step charges.
Come on, let's see that Midas usage. Be efficient, Paulison. There we go. You love to see it. He's rich. He's rich. Not at the bottom of the gold.
What's the item he goes for next for Polo?
Could be good here. I mean, Solar Crest is never bad, especially when you've got a Troll Warlord and a TA. It just enables you to take Roche even easier. Build up those further stacks quicker if you use it on your ally instead.
And it definitely enables you to help end this game early too. Just when Alacrity's sieging or taking Roshan a little bit easier. So anything you want to be able to make this game end at a rapid rate. Because again, they've still got issues with Phantom Lancer as the game goes on. So you can look to itemize to end early, or look to itemize to deal with Natsumi, who is really the big issue.
Navius? Always hoping for the uphill miss. Nope. He was just standing in front of Roche, maybe looking somewhere else on the map, and that is a 5-kill streak, actually, that Alacrity is able to get for completely free. And yeah, just converge into Roche. You've got Force here, and he does have the Blink Dagger. Well, it's going to be enough to spook him.
Again, In Your Dream is uncontested. He's almost completing the BKB. He's getting so much farm across the map. Lelouch might be in trouble. Finds the yours, but still Mizu waiting with the spear. Once he falls down, Mavis coming on over. Doesn't use the Nightmare on Lelouch, but it will still give him enough space to run out to safety.
Poor Mavis.
He's, a worthwhile sacrifice, as the Position 5s like to say.
I never say that.
You never die?
But,
you never sacrifice your life?
I never die. Never, ever. I'm just in perfect position 100% of the time. But Ian Dream obviously not wanting to pop the battle trance to secure that kill. It's understandable, right? Like, I mean, it was for an enemy mid laner, but I suppose they realize how important this Roshan is. Maybe without Fiend's Grip, that just gives them the confidence that they need to be able to go into this. No Arena of Blood, but Mizu, he realizes that his presence at the team fight isn't going to be quite as impactful.
They're going to have to make a play.
Walk over.
Roche is falling low. You need the vision. Force needs to be in a position to jump as well, but Age is claimed, and now Polaris. See if they continue to stick around and posture aggressively by the triangle, but this is now a big window for Nigma.SEA to start gaining some map control.
Oh. He is going into a Crimson Guard on the Enchantress.
Oh,
so
I like that.
Already kind of hard to kill for himself, but just that little bit of an extra damage block for the rest of the team. Always going to be quite nice.
Yeah. Itemizing for the Phantom Lancer.
I was kind of thinking maybe he'll go like a casual cloak just so that he doesn't get completely burst by the Void Spirit, but maybe just feeling that, look, Lelouch doesn't really have the greatest game so far, so it's not that big of an area of concern. Still, though, once Paulison hits like level 11, I mean, level 12 is obviously the big spike, but level 12 he's going to have 2 levels untouchable, full Nature's Attendance, and that extra magic resistance from the Talent Tree, so he becomes almost unkillable at that stage as a position 5 Enchantress.
The other position 5, very killable. It's Mizu. Solo use of the arena for him. Meanwhile, Lelouch is just looking to do whatever he can to slow down the eventual push that's going to come down bottom.
And Look at all these traps on the on the map. Like, you don't even... That's the obnoxious part, right? You don't even need to be there on the TA to keep these lanes pushed out.
Yeah.
Like, again, their tower
Dire's middle
taking
tower
is
is under attack.
severely lacking
Radiant's bottom tower
on
is under
Polaris.
attack.
Like, it needs to be off the back of Natsumi, and it needs to be after a team fight happens. You can't be taking a tower to start a team fight, it feels, because they do still have a lot of potential to just, you know, blink with the Yule Scepter and spear you without having any kind of way for Natsumi to be able to respond to it.
Dire's
Dire
top tower
Smoke
is under
Doppers
attack.
3. Force still sticking around in the jungle though, so they're gonna get some information and instantly look to jump the tide. Pretty much in no man's land. Force not too sure what he's doing there, and it'll cost him his life as Alacrity finds it 6, 0, and 2. Now they're gonna look to push down mid and maybe find an objective off the back of that.
We love Zix, but what Lelouch is going to love is having that little bit of extra space, right?
Dire's
Like,
top tower
that
is
is
under
kind of
attack.
what Force was doing. A lot of people are like, oh, he's just feeding. He's just realizing, look, I'm the tankiest one on the team by far. I need to put my body out there. I need to give Void Spirit some time to get these items. And he's only one component away from finishing up that Aghanim Scepter. It's probably going to come around the level 15 mark as well. So extra Resonant Pulse damage, lots of silences, and you can finally then look to dive onto the Shadow Demon so that a lot of your engagements, particularly around that Blink Ravage, are going to be so much more effective. So I think the time that Polaris are really looking to go for is in 2 minutes. They're going to have no Aegis to have to contend with. Void Spirit's going to have that Aghanims, assuming he doesn't die. And maybe then you can make something happen.
The void within.
Aghanims on Troll. This is something we haven't seen in quite some time as well.
I was kind of thinking that as one of the options as well at the very start of the game, right? But my issue is you're coming up against a PL, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get your mana consistently drained. Like, you've only got a certain amount of time with that BKB, of course. And even then, right, like, you can just get Fiend's Grip. They don't have great ways to be able to stop the Bane Fiend's Grip from afar.
Is the range slow? The dispel actually? Yeah, so the range enemy merely dispels himself. Okay. What's the cooldown go down to? Is it
Like
3?
4 seconds.
Yeah.
It's really small.
An item that we were seeing
Disappear.
quite some time ago when the troll was getting flexed in other roles. You know, we saw it for a 2 for a while with something like the Eternal Shroud, just being a crazy menace across the map. Alacrity is a bit away from the team.
He's got the Aegis still for another 35 seconds,
He
though. I feel like you
does.
can't wait for it to expire.
He's close to the tier 1 tower too. The TP's couple are on cooldown at the moment. Alacrity not even phased, still sticking around until whatever damage he can, and it just goes to show how scared Polaris are at the moment, how far behind.
Well, that is a smoke revealed. They have been able to wait out that time. Like, again, what did I say? 2 minutes, Aegis expiring in 5 seconds. Void Spirit has the Aghanim Scepter and his level 15. That is what they need to be playing
what a
around.
ward placement. Natsumi.
I don't-
Let's see
I
if
don't
he's
think
quick on the
Lelouch should be away.
fingers. He's just going to jump and he finds a connection. But Mavis, perfect placement as well. They're able to keep Natsumi alive long enough, but still the
Got him.
dropping it down to the low ground is not enough distance as Natsumi
Nice Fiend's
is
Grip.
trying to find a little bit of a nook, but the Fiend's Grip holding back in your dream through the BKB, but the answer's not enough as they're able to charge down, getting rid of the Phantom Lance, and they'll look next towards Mavis as Mizu finds a double kill.
Yeah, I think they just thought they had more time than they actually did, right? Like, you probably weren't expecting Enigma Galaxy smoke to come just as the Aegis was expiring. Like, Polaris would have known the timer left on it, and Lelouch, instead of actually being with the rest of his team around that key timing that I've just been talking about over and over, he decided to go towards mid and clear out that creep wave, maybe force them towards the tower, and instead it ends up costing them big time.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It just feels like it's going to be so difficult to get out of the map here for Polaris now. You've lost 2 tier 2 towers. Top's going to be in control of Nigma Galaxy.SEA, and they're just going to play this one very methodically. You know, wait for
Yep,
that
no
second
outpost.
Roshan.
No outpost. Aghanim's completed on the Troll
Radiant's top
Warlord.
tower is
Crimson
under
Guard finished now on the Enchantress. He's reached that level 12 that I was talking about before. It's pretty bad, I'll be honest.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
There's no copium left.
I mean, you're the one that predicted Polaris, bro.
Come on. Supposed to help me out here. Make me feel a little bit better.
Nah, your birthday was a week ago. You don't get that anymore.
Still trying to formulate some defense up top. Natsumi, the only recent thing completed was the Aghanim Shard. Still got a decent amount of gold in the bank.
I like Alacrity's item build. He's going into the Lincolns next. I want to see Troll get that as well. The only reason they didn't just completely snowball
They're
that
gonna look
bottom
to start
fight.
the fight in the Enchantress. They've got to be cautious. Poke and prod, name of the game from Polaris. You can't heavily commit into
Radiant's
TA
turret
and the
has been
Troll.
killed.
Just look at Joachim's positioning as well. Right underneath the ward, in the trees, the hardest possible spot to see, especially at night, and he's got the Blink Dagger, so he gets to decide when he joins in these engagements, and it means that Lelouch can't have this game that he wants. He can't disrupt the Shadow Demon from doing what he wants to do.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And in the meantime, towers continue to fall. No outer objectives remaining now for Polaris. It's just gone from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's at the stage where the probability is 78% for Dire. And it feels like that's going to continue to grow. Polaris suffering ways to get out on the map. We didn't really see this your pick-off potential come into play through the early game because of how poorly mid went for Lelouch. And Nigma.SEA have done a really good job with this net worth lead. They haven't looked back.
And even now, Joachim, look at his neutral item. Wait, he gave... did he change it up? He had a blast rate for the longest time.
Can Mizu get involved? Yes, he can. Is the damage enough through the speed connection? One use of the astral step is onto the high ground. They know at least the positioning of him, thanks to the tower, but he's going to be able to TP out.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Close, and he's forced to do these desperate things like make sure he gets that bounty rune away just for any little bit of farm that you're able to claim in the meantime. They do also get a tower on the bottom side of the map, and Xavius, he's doing his best to keep these lanes shoved. I mean, kind of like what we saw Nigma.SEA adapt to in that game number 1 when things weren't going completely their way. They just threw these heroes that were good at pushing. So Mirana, not great at it, but at least with the Starstorm and the Leap, you're able to get to somewhat safety. And just have a look at his item build as well. He's going into the Aghanim Scepter, so he wants to be able to just throw those sacred arrows from afar and keep those lanes pushed as much as he can.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
It's a rough life when you're trying to fly the courier to the secret shop and then you mistime the crate wave and you're just like, you just watch the courier die. It's like everything's continuing to go bad.
Spoil that shot.
Yeah. And that would have been his Aether Lens as well on the Bane, which is such a key item.
Need some assistance. Mavis once again, perfect placement, but they got to be careful around the choke point as Mizu
Arena.
dropping the arena. There's no follow-up at the moment as Alacrity's waiting on the outskirts. So Mizu's ultimate wasted, and Natsumi is going to look to get in the middle, start the drain. A little bit of the mana away. Force is waiting for an opening too, but the rest of Nigma.SEA at least being able to create a little bit of distance, and they're going to counter smoke themselves, Mizu. Where's the
arrow
angle?
gave him vision.
Jump straight on top of Xavius. Force once again waiting on the high ground. A Ravage clips onto 3, but the damage, where is it? Yorikam instantly jumping on forward. The banishment to be able to cancel. The Fiend skipping now instantly radiant. They have to disengage. Natsumi is the really key component here. Lelouch, maybe he can get involved and create some chaos to get the PL out to safety. A doppelganger will do just that. Mizu lacking the mana to follow up. They've kept the Phantom Lancer alive, but where's the damage? Polaris, you can't really get back involved. Lelouch is going to make an attempt, but again, you haven't dealt with Yorikam. These Shadow Demons, such a nuisance.
He's doing everything. He is doing absolutely everything. Just stopping that Fiend's grip instantly. Like, he's just got his Q press, the quick cast hovering over the high priority heroes for the rest of his team. Like, it's just really solid play. That's all you can really say about what Nigma.SEA are showing us here today. There's going to be that second Roche. Aghanim Shard coming out here. I mean, you'd be very happy to claim that on the TA, and yeah, that's exactly the case. So doesn't even need to worry about Shadow Demon being in the perfect position anymore.
We're going to be able to blow up the Enchantress. Xavius will find the kill. Numbers disadvantage, but Ravage on cooldown. Gonna try and target in your dream. BKB back up shortly. They don't have the cheese on the Troll too. So no extra advantages coming through from Roshan. They really want to force out the Battle Trance or the BKB and not give him any opportunity to find a kill afterwards. Great use of the Yules. Lelouch is going to try and kite through the Mars Arena. Nightmare even granting him some extra capability as well. Lelouch finally out to safety. BKB completely wasted, but still, Mizu jumps over the top. He's going to compromise his own position at the moment in the river.
Oh, the spell,
but it doesn't have Natsumi up to the northern side. He's trying to battle over with force. Troll getting some distance. Alacrity playing hand in hand as well. Natsumi, this is where he needs to shine to bring the team back into this game. In your dream, somehow still alive as Jurkan waiting in the wings to protect him with a banishment. Polison doing the best he can as well, but finally, Troll's going to end up going down. They're looking at kite the Templar Assassin next. After the Nightmare, they'll deal with the first life. Natsumi, is he doing it? Are they bringing themselves back into this game? A BKB is still available, refraction on cooldown nonetheless. There's Alacrity up to the safety, the high ground. Natsumi? He doesn't give a damn. Mizu's next on the agenda. Once again, Yokan with the banishment. He can never fault the Shadow Demon with his positioning, and Mizu will finally go down. Polaris, signs of life though.
Signs of life for sure. I mean, 15k net worth down, able to get a few kills onto 2 of the cores, finally take that mid tower, and yeah, like you mentioned, it's completely on the back of Natsumi. What a great player.
Got a decent influx of gold as well for the Phantom Lancer. Who else are they caught out? That's Polison, but he's pretty goddamn farmed. I tell you what, you'll take any kill you can get. Natsumi, he's asking. Come on, guys. Natsumi's like, give me the kill, Lelouch. No, brother. I got destroyed, mate. I need anything I can get.
Got that blast streak picked up as well, which will be quite nice. I kind of figured that it should probably be Xavius that ends up picking it up, just because, you know, the times that he's dying, it's because he's just getting someone on top of him. You don't really want to be BKBing to be able to kill this Mirana. So I feel like the plus armor will be quite effective for him.
Can I bring the Copium back a little bit?
A little bit. What was the win prompt say?
Oh, Jesus. Wait, how is it that close? Hang on.
I would give it like, I don't know, 25, 75.
Yeah, I'd do around about that. I mean, MKB now on TA, so... I mean, the damage, it doesn't seem to be lacking for Alacrity, but the big issue is these supports. The Bane along with the Shadow Team, and we've seen either side really flex their muscles on how they can kind of dissuade the initial jump from either team.
I'd say, is MKB the item? I mean, he's going to be lucky that Phantom Lancer does have the butterfly queued up, and that's what he's going to go into. But I still kind of feel like it's a game for, you know, the Mjolnir, for the Troll Warlord, or the Lincoln Sphere. You know, either one is just going to provide you a lot of control and a lot of ways to just stop the effectiveness of this PL and the Bane.
They both go on MKB. Interesting. So it feels like he has to change from the butterfly now on Natsumi, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, they're all smoked up, so he might not get the time to be able to do that, at least before this next coming fight. Talking about smokes, Polaris popped their own.
Allies disappear.
And they also, is he level 15 yet? He is, so he's got that extra 20% evasion. Maybe that's what it's for. You know, just the Mirana ulti. Obviously not wanting to have a lot of your burst teamfight effectiveness removed from the equation.
Okay. Yeah, very true. It definitely feels like some of the issues for Polaris, still how you can burst the hero down off the back of the Ravage. It's a little bit easier now because Lelouch is actually caught up a little bit in farm. I mean, he's level 20. He's got the Spell Amp talent, Shivas as well. So I really think with Ravage, they can definitely blow up one hero, which we saw previously they couldn't. But there's no one else that can really jump. Maybe Xavius, because he also did go Aghanim. Xavius is really farmed.
He is, you know, and again, he was going that that pushing style, right? And he needs that to be able to have that kind of effectiveness. I feel like with the Shiva's Guard as well, it provides you with that great vision that has been lacking a little bit on Polaris so far. So with that, if he uses it in the middle of a team fight, he might be able to find the Shadow Demon and just continuously keep him locked down. All you need is a glimpse to be able to, second Astral Step out, Yule Scepter into the Aether Remnant, and then just follow that up with a Resonant Pulse. Like, that should be enough for the rest of the team to be doing something in these team fights.
On Nigma.SEA, they're going to double back. They've got the vision. Miz is a really key component. They're going to be able to dangle the life and force the use of the BKB, but now with the backline, Davis is in trouble. Control lacking. There's a DD bottom as well. Put your body on the line, get rid of it. They will. Alacrity, whenever DD in the arsenal now. Either team switching their position across the map. Natsumi's in the middle. Mizu, what an arena. Into the choke point, finding 3, but an even better Ravage as well. But where's the burst? The look to turn over to deal with Mizu. Yokam, the banishment's enough to keep him alive. But still, the Crimson Guard, it won't keep him up. So now they can turn, try and deal with the Troll. The Phantom Lancer needs to try and stack up the illusions, and he's doing just that. Demon. They've been able to bring down the Shadow Demon. Natsumi's going to be cautious, though. It's Troll, great use of the disarm. Unable to continue stacking up. They found the first root. Now he's in trouble. Mavis, Nightmare, still on cooldown. In Your Dream, lucky enough with the roots, and they continue to flow through afterwards. And now Force, his life should also be claimed as another root from In Your Dream.
And that was with Alacrity sitting in a Nightmare the entire time. He didn't even pop the BKB, so basically 0 teamfight involvement coming from that TA. And you're still able to pull it out there with Kami-sama on that In Your Dream Troll Warlord. What a crazy fight. Just able to finally catch him out. They did get the Shadow Demon though, right? And the reason that Ravage was so effective is because they baited out the BKB usage in that little skirmish prior to that. So I feel like Polaris, they had all of the right recipes to it. It was just maybe not quite playing around the Nightmare cooldown in particular quite enough.
Let's see if they can blow up the next creep wave, or maybe even the life of In Your Dream. My god. It's going to try and set up for the arrow In Your Dream. Well, at least you don't force buybacks and you keep your tower alive. They're actually going to look to smoke. So Xavier's still Lucian, Mavius. Got this observe word that they're actually going to be a little bit late through to protect.
It was a much easier fight that time for Paulson, because in those 2 prior engagements where he'd been picked off, he had 4,000 gold in his inventory. He's just not used on anything. And since then, he's gone for the Lotus Orb.
Oh, Mizu's in trouble. Mavis, this time it'll be a free use of the Fiend's Grip. There's no cancel, and you're more than happy with that pick off there, as Polaris getting something across the map while the rest of the heroes were down.
What's coming up next here for the Troll Warlord? Okay, just wanting to be able to turn with that Satanic, the basic Dispel, of course. Going to be very nice against the silence coming through from the Void Spirit, but more, in my opinion, the Enfeeble. I think you just need to make sure that you have a way to remove that, because a 60% reduction in damage that you're able to do is just going to be so incredibly impactful.
What are your thoughts on the eventual Silver's Edge from Natsumi? Is he just looking for a little bit extra positioning? Is it really a strong break that you're hoping for?
Gotcha.
It's not amazing. I think it's just about the positioning, right? Like, he's almost 6 slotted. He's getting close to it. I mean, I would probably personally rather the Octarine, just for consistent spamming in a lot of these team fights, but, Natsumi knows best.
It's level 25 here from the PL. One more level till he can pick that one up. TA's already got her 25 as well. We've seen Alacrity, I mean, just such a beautiful way to replicate his Game 1 performance. Shadow Demon's going Hex. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I was just having a look, like, okay, I heard the Demonic Purge, is he gone for the Ags? And yeah, turns out he's gone that Hex. I mean, it does mean that you still have some sort of way to control the Void Spirit if he is looking to go in onto you in a lot of these engagements, right? Like, you can use the Yule Scepter, you can use the Aether Remnant, and of course the Silence coming up from the Resonant Pulse. But you do need the follow-up damage after that Resonant Pulse Silence. I feel like that's not going to be enough to kill you. So if you could just turn around and Hex him, big win.
Well, Ags now from Force. A great item to just posture on the backline and allow Natsumi's illusions to do a lot of the damage.
See, Hex being queued up by Paulson as well. So
Okay.
his support's being real greedy.
Definitely have that capability with him going Midas and Shadow Demon. He doesn't unfortunately have the Philosopher's Stone. Almost a better neutral item though with the Psychic Headband, that extra range.
Such a good item. I feel so happy whenever it drops it again. Like, all right, I'm online. I'm not going to die at the start of every team fight.
Smoke up. Nigma.SEA. Roshan available. Third Rosh of the game. Radiant
Both
have
of them know
really
it.
good vision around the area though. Alacrity almost trying to dare that high ground.
This is what they were good at in game number 1. They're great at playing around this vision, particularly around these Rosh engagements, and they know they're close by because
Polo's
of
gonna
this
give them
voice.
vision.
Knights are with us.
Mizu, how do you want to look to start the fight? Maybe they have to get out of the area now, losing that Observer Ward. They also get rid of the gem. So on the deck, if
Deals
they can find it,
25.
they'll look to jump Paulson. Just quick in and out. Lelouch, with the help of Force. Where's the gem to?
On Void.
They lost it on the Dire Courier. It drops, right? On the Courier when it dies?
Sure.
Sure,
say
does
yeah.
it? I think it does. I don't remember anymore. Oh, Rosh
Gonna lead
occurring.
them into wanting Rosh, yeah. We do have that Ags on the Tide Hunter as well, so he's able to continuously spam it out. I feel like it's going to give you a lot of value here, particularly for the PL. But he's forced to back off eventually. Just playing a little bit scared, wanting to continuously fight around their vision rather than where Nigma Galaxy have that slight advantage over their high ground. And it's a DD in the river as well. Who's going to see it?
Gonna look to try and start the fight once again. Yokam.
Oh, that's a big plus. Getting that BKB out on Mizu is enormous. Now he's susceptible to being nightmared. He can have his mana burn nice and early. It's a big one. And
Who
yep,
got the DD?
immediately.
Lelouch.
Do
Blessing
they feel
available.
that they can contest it?
Going down really slow. And Dire, they kind of left the area. They thought there was no way to be able to contest it, but still Roshan's not down just yet.
Maybe
Radiant.
just wanting to wait for Paulson to get there.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
they've
Paulison's
taken back
disconnected from the
control.
team once again. Lelouch might be able to blow him up at a perfect timing with the Yules. Instantly cancelling out the arena. They still find their speed connection, but now with the Ravage. Force jumping over the top of the damage. It's lacking. They're unable to follow up, but they need to cancel the Fiend Scrim, and it's there once again. Yokam will put his body on the line to keep Alacrity alive, but it will cost his life. A 1-for-1 trade, but the buyback is available. Natsumi is going to look to try and target down Alacrity. Refraction dealt with. Where's the detection though? They need some vision. They're not going to find it. TA more than healthy, and now Natsumi gonna look to try and jaunt away. They've got the Moonlight Shadow. Dire also lacking detection.
It's all on the back of this Void Spirit. Lelouch as well. He's come all the way back to base. Well, maybe that's where the gem is. It's sitting right in front of the Radiant Fountain after all was said and done. And, well, if they realize that he's not here anymore, they could definitely look to make a play around this Roche pit. They take it incredibly fast as Alacrity just uses the Tide Hunter's minus armor
Mizu.
against him.
It's gonna eat the arrow. Roche about to fall once again.
Stole it.
Falls. He snatches the Aegis. What a play from the Tide. They're still able to bring their first life down. Natsumi, look at the recognition. He's got to try and target Yokam, such a key component. A banishment just delaying the inevitable. Lelouch is on the backline too. They've blown up the troll. He's looking for more. Paulson the next on the agenda. They don't care about the Enchantress Mizu. Unfortunately, a quick blink away. So Polaris, I'm a snatch and grab as Force gets the Aegis. I'm not sure where the Aghanims went though. I think Alacrity got it.
Yeah, it seems that way. Man, another big play coming out from Force around that Roche pit. I mean, he always seems to have that be his big specialty. And well, I didn't actually see how In Your Dream ended up going down. Like, of course, it was on the back of Lelouch doing a lot of the work, but that is a lot of damage that they were able to output with the PL on the other side of the team fight.
Who spoiled that shot?
Well, here we go. They're looking to test out some of these buybacks. Doing his best here, of course, is Alacrity, trying to use that freshly picked up psionic projection. Just wants to keep this bottom lane consistently pushing, go for a few more of those rat style plays. It feels like nearly a carbon copy of what we saw in the previous game. Will Xavius catch him out though?
Dire's structures are fortified.
Might do just that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
TPs are starting to come over. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Goddamn Lincolns.
Dire's middle
Back to
tower
taking
has
objectives.
fallen.
Natsumi and Force got to be
Dire's
real
middle
careful.
barracks are under attack.
They TP'd away, so Mizu's gonna jump. Force has got the aesthetic
We
cap.
still in.
Natsumi's such a difficult target
got
to
the real
lock
one.
down as well, but they found the real Phantom Lancer. Mavis gonna provide him a little bit of space, and now they've locked on top of Yokam. Banishment as well. Natsumi's still sticking around, but they've dealt with the Shadow Demon. And now Lelouch is in the middle of it all as well. What a silence onto multiple heroes. The Mars has got a buyback, but look at Natsumi with the help of the Aghanim's Gush. He's just freely bringing down these heroes. They're going to look to reset. Buyback's forced out. If they can get down to the low ground and maybe go back in, Mizu's got to be cautious in your dream as well. They've gotten rid of the troll. They'll look to Mizu. He's able to blink out to the northern side, but Force is still hunting. A homing missile in the nighttime as Natsumi and co will claim the life of the Mars. A dieback for Mizu, 100 seconds on the deck. Lelouch is in again. Hex is out. BKB on cooldown. Refraction's getting burned. TA needs some assistance. Can they find the light before she's
Your
able
dream,
to
he's
get
got
out?
him.
Standing his ground is in your dream. A man on a mission will blow up the Void Spirit. Natsumi's still in the midst of it all. But how much damage can the PL
Went
really do? Alacrity's going to try and jump on forward. Jesus you, so he's back in fighting shape. My God, what is this game?
That was so close to ending right there. It's nuts. I want to see the fight recap from this. Nearly 8,000 damage, of course, being done by the PL. But even though he ended up dying, it was Lelouch, right? I feel like his involvement in these engagements has just kicked up another notch. Like, he was 6th, nearly 7th on net worth, and he's brought himself all the way up to 3rd. That's just an indication of what a strong player he is, able to come back even if the laning stage goes horribly for him, overtaken in your dream as well. And more importantly, they forced out the buyback on the Troll Warlord. So, you know, they might not have been able to end the game that time around, but you don't have buybacks on 2 of your cores.
I think you can now with Refresher on Tide. We've seen the past previous fights, the Ravagers giving them a shoot. Whoa! I feel like you have to. Like, I really think the double Ravage is enough for them to get 2 kills, and then you've got a huge numbers advantage.
Got to be careful with where you're moving around, Paulson. You don't have buyback. And yeah, sure, they're playing around their vision, but always having to be a little bit careful when you don't have your Mars, that big area control for a lot of your team fights. It always feels like Nigma.SEA spoil us, you know? Like, even going back to the TI quals, all those games were bangers. Like, they had, I think, 6 70-plus minute games in that one.
They do thrive in late game Dota. 6,000 net worth lead, but the momentum is very much in Polaris' favor. And the probability, in fact, 70% for them. Something I was really not expecting, but I mean, PL late game,
They need
big
this
issues.
Mjolnir. They need this Mjolnir on the Troll Wallet. He's close. 400 gold away. He's able to pick that up. It's a huge factor to being able to just plop it onto whoever is the one that's being the main focus. It feels like it's Mizu a lot of the time, wanting to make sure that he removes all of his mana so that he's not effective in a lot of these engagements. And yeah, in your dream, he's so damn close to picking it up.
So we have seen when In Your Dream can lock onto a target, that it's all off the back of Mavis to be able to get them out of the route. Because otherwise, you completely lock down and there's no escape. So, again, it's off the back of Mavis and Yokam. These 2 saving supports is how this fight is, and honestly, how this game is going to be determined.
It does feel like they've been lacking a little bit of damage so far on Nigma.SEA in these past few fights. And, I mean, they've just gotten a Vlad's now on the Enchantress. I much prefer that as a pickup, excuse me, relative to the Sheepstick that they had previously.
Mizu.
So,
Yokam as well. There's that key component. I look to charge on forward. Mizu's got the gem. So either team
That's
holding at
first.
the moment, but they're able to find the Shadow Demon. No buyback. A huge start to the fight here.
that's enormous. I mean, anytime you're coming up against a Phantom Lancer, right, you want to make sure that you're able to try and replicate some of those illusions with the disruption for one, or stop any kind of aggressive push moving forward. And, well, I might need to take some of that copium that you were huffing before, because this is not looking good for Nigma Galaxy so far, being 1 man down with this beast of a PL pushing in onto the high ground.
And they might just look to blow up the Enchantress with ease. Bye-bye,
No
Paulson. My god.
Just one at a time.
Dire's top tower
Continue to
is
get that copium going. Polaris up to the second set of barracks as Natsumi. He doesn't really have a lot of damage items, but with 2 heroes
They're
down.
trying to rat with this rapier here on the bottom side. Alacrity's playing around there, and Mavis, he's been spotted out. Very nice presence of mind there by Alacrity, saying, look, I haven't seen the bait in a while.
Maybe trying to force something. Hex initially out on In Your Dream.
Of course, having to be even more careful now with coming up against this Void Spirit, right? He's level 26, so he's got the Dissimulate stun. I was considering, you know, is he going to go in that little bit of extra deep into the enemy base just to try and chain lock down In Your Dream, maybe give time for the Phantom Lancer, but they're very happy to claim 2 lanes of racks there.
The fact that Polaris has somehow edged their way back into this game is exceptional to what we've seen really from them all season. I mean, this is a big reason why they're undefeated so far, why both teams are undefeated so far, with how they can bring themselves back from a game that looks unwinnable, honestly. And they're now in prime position, even though they're down net worth. They've got 2 full sets of barracks as the advantage, and how they can now posture on the map with the Moonlight Shadow gives them such an angle to take these fights. And Lelouch is going to run into the Mars, and you know, Mizu's got Yokam that's going to leap on 4, but now it puts Yokam in a compromised position as Natsumi instantly recognizing his job to blow up the Shadow Team, and the rest of the units can deal with the Mars.
Kind of like, I wonder what they're waiting for in particular. It feels like they're waiting for a mistake on Nigma Galaxy, because they still have the advantage, of course, of having that tier 2 tower. Alacrity's doing a good job to make sure that this lane is consistently pushing in, using that psionic projection, maybe just wanting to wait for their buybacks to be available again. We saw how important it was at the end of the previous game.
And Lelouch, another deep dive onto a support and another easy kill. And now they got tier 4s they want to beat onto. I mean, 2 heroes don't have a buyback. Why not?
Yeah, but Bane cancelled his TP though, so he knows that he can just consistently stay here on the front lines and look to put a little bit of pressure on. Eventually, he's forced to come back though.
Cliff used, tier 4s. Starting to drop. I mean, Mizu up in 30 seconds. The Lelouch is going to look to make as much space as possible as In Your Dream. Finding an angle in. He's going to instantly look to jump force, but Mavis waiting the wings to offer some protection. They haven't been able to burst down an initial target, and Alacrity needs some assistance. Can he project out to safety? He can. He's off inside the fountain, but now In Your Dream as well needs some assistance. He's going to get it from Yokam, but the Ravage clipping 2. Refresh as well, just in case they need the extra use of the ultimate. No buyback on In Your Dream. Tier 4 soon to fall. Are we going to a game 3? Polaris, have they done it? Alacrity's going to have to hope off the back of the rapier, but they're unable to bring down Xavier's once again. Another Ravage. It doesn't do anything, but it doesn't matter. Natsumi and Lelouch bringing themselves back into this as the throne's exposed. Mizu's exposed. They've caught out the Templar Assassin. And the both undefeated teams are going in the distance.
This is what we wanted to see. 40 plus minutes, 53 plus minutes, and a game 3 to be able to cap it all off. I mean, great play from Polaris. They were so far behind. What was that at the end? Like, I'm going to have a look at the graphs afterwards, but it felt like 15k, I believe. And, well, they were still able to come out on the back of Natsumi's PL. Such a beast to be able to come up against despite a horrible laning stage for 2 of their lanes.
It's... For me, I gotta be loving life right now. I get a game 3. I one-up you in the predictions. Everything's looking good. Polaris, what a way to bring themselves back into this. I mean, like you said, Phantom Lancer, they had no answer to them as the game went on. They looked to try and play this greed aspect with the supports. I mean, Polison with some cute itemization. We saw Yokam be really clutch as well, but it really felt like these fights for Polaris, how they were able to target down a hero, force Yokam to jump in, and like, okay, we'll kill you instead, and then double back when Force is able to find an angle into the Ravage. It was just exceptional Dota for Polaris and how they were able to edge out a victory.
Yeah, for mine, I still wanted to see the Lincolns on In Your Dream in particular. It felt like maybe he wasn't getting Fiend's gripped in every single fight, but the Nightmare did end up going out a few times there once he didn't have the BKB available. And same sort of thing with Paulson. There was a lot of times where he was holding on to a lot of net worth, obviously not wanting to reveal everything all at once, but I don't know. It was just one of those situations where it just didn't. We didn't really feel the impact of this Enchantress being that frontline presence that's able to soak up a lot of these engagements, which we did see from him in game number one with that Lion breaking. I think it was 2 key smokes that Polaris tried to go for, but it just wasn't on point this time around. But of course, they have a game 3 to be able to rectify a few of these mistakes, and can't think of a better way to be able to finish off this series.
Without a doubt. Game 3, going the distance here. Polaris against Nigma. Galaxy C. We'll see you guys shortly after a break.